We finally get answers about this Shanks that had met the Gorosei. I want to say over like 1,500 chapters ago. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but we thought it was Shanks because he went to the Gorosei saying like, "Oh, I couldn't talk to you about a certain pirate." But certain people noticed that Shanks' scar was missing. Again, Oda is a master of foreshadowing. And that's what I'm telling you, don't ignore these clues about Blackbeard, because something happens, I think it's in the latest chapter, 1138, where I'm like, is this more foreshadowing? But we'll get there. Hey guys, welcome back to Everything Anime Podcast. I'm your host Shinry. Here's Everything Anime Podcast, dropping it from anime, manga, video games, TV shows, other relevant topics I'm talking about. Today's video is on One Piece chapters 135 to 137, I believe. 1138 is out, but I feel like this reveal deserves its own separate video, and then there's a lot of speculation to talk about in 1138, so 1138 is going to be its own video. Anyways, yes. And some of these videos you'll notice they were done like pre 2025, like the end of 2024. That was like the Dr. Stone video, the Boruto video. I think it was like the last chapter of Boruto that came out before Christmas. I had those videos done and prepared, but like again, there was a lot going on, so I just didn't get to them. And even I think at least two of these One Piece chapters were done in 2024. One was done in 2025, which is the 1137. But I'm just adding them all together because again, I thought this reveal was pretty good. Well, very good. And it answers a lot of questions that I had personally, and then some theories that people have thrown out there. But anyways, let's get to the chapter. So when the chapter opens up, Saul is very happy that Robin found some friends like she promised she would. And everyone is in tears but Luffy and Jinbei. Though Luffy does personally thank Saul in his own way, I kind of understand why Jinbei isn't crying for Robin like the rest of them. Because even Zoro's crying. Like, it's not that Jinbei is like the tough guy. It's more like he doesn't have that personal connection like all of them do with, like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Jinbei has like a personal connection to like Luffy and Ace. But obviously he he's a part of the strike crew. He laughs at them. He acts like them now. He dresses like them now. But yeah, I could see that, and then we know Luffy wouldn't cry like that. And Luffy would cry, but he was more just happy. We then find out that Saul and Vegapunk knew each other 20 years ago, which isn't a big surprise because Saul was once working for the world government, and so like them knowing each other wouldn't really be that big of a deal. What is a surprise though is that Vegapunk, the original, was coming back. Lilith kept a clone of the original's body and escaped with it off Egghead Island. So we know that all the Vegapunks, all the satellites are called, because the original Vegapunk died. But all the satellites, they have the same mind as Vegapunk. They're just given like certain personalities. And then Lilith is like, oh, well, I saved the original Vegapunk. So I don't know if she's going to kill herself and then Vegapunk's going to come back, or like she's going to still exist and then there's going to be a Vegapunk. Because I thought Lilith was going to join the Straw Hats, but we're not getting a scientist on our team. We're not getting a Vegapunk. Which, I mean, it still could happen. We're still on Elbaf. And, you know, she could bring back the original Vegapunk and then still be a Straw Hat. Like, I don't know. Luffy did say originally he only wanted like 9 members of the crew, maybe 10. I forgot exactly. So, you know, I don't expect him to have like a massive crew. He has a fleet already. We have the Straw Hat fleet. But his crew itself, you know, I imagine it more like Shanks, like all personal, like how we've all grown to them. Anyway, what's more, Lilith intends to build a new laboratory here in Elbaf, so maybe she's not going to be the scientist on our crew after all. That's why I said that, yeah. Because Lilith is planning on building a lab on Elbaf, because she's like, you know, you guys are free from the world government. I can do my experiments here. I'll be safe here, you know. And based off into this chapter, or into these chapters, that's debatable now, Lilith. Because they originally even came for her on Egghead Island. Well, all the satellites on Egghead Island. They do got one Vegapunk. They got that fat one that loves to eat York. Oh, yes, I forgot about that. The world government does have a Vegapunk. That's right. She also promises Bonnie that she can turn Kuma back to his normal self. I really love that. I think that's incredible. Kuma's backstory was so great. It was so very cute. We still have to know who Bonnie's mom is. We still have to... Yeah, Bonnie's mom. We know that she died. We do know Bonnie's mom. That was Kuma's friend. And then she got taken. We don't know her father. We don't know Bonnie's real father. That's what it was. That's what it was. But yeah, I'm very curious about that. I feel like Bonnie might be a celestial. Well, Bonnie is a celestial dragon because Kuma's friend was taken by a celestial dragon to be the wife, and then she escaped with her daughter and was killed, but she got Bonnie back to her Kuma, and Bonnie had the sapphire disease. Oh, One Piece has so much fucking lore. I'm telling you, it's like one of the greatest mysteries and stories I've ever read. So anyways, we get some backstory on Loki killing his father, Harold, the former king. The king was trying to reform the ways of Elbath, no longer an island of insults, violence, pillaging, and war, but one that sought out trade and forming alliances. So completely polar opposite of Boggy and Dory and their eternal fight, because Boggy and Dory were the previous captains of the giant pirates, and they had been trapped on that island. I forgot the island was called, where like oh God, what was the organization called? Baroque Works. 3 of the members of the Baroque Works were like, trying to sabotage them along with Mission 3. And Usopp and Luffy were the ones that told Boggy and Dory, stop fighting, you guys are friends and stuff like that. And Boggy and Dory, they were trying to kill each other because that's like how giants go out. You have to die in battle. That's how you get to basically Valhalla. But they didn't want to kill each other in an unfair way, and that's kind of what Baroque Works did. They ruined their fight. But yeah, Boggy and Dory were from the generation that fought like real giants do, and their crew. But current Elbath, when it was run by King Harold, he was like, "Oh no, let's look for peace. Let's change the ways." Kind of like becoming like Fishman Island, how Odahime and King Neptune, they went up with the celestial dragons to the surface to allow fishmen and women and mermaids to go up to the surface without being harmed or sold off by celestial dragons, which they were, because celestial dragons don't give a fuck. They will take you if you got a wife, kid, child, husband, widow. If they think you're beautiful, or are you strong, they just want to take you. Yeah, we hate celestial dragons here. We hate them. Anyways, but that's the point. They want to be like Fishman Island. They want to, create world peace. And but Loki didn't agree with his dad's new lifestyle, so he killed him. And the people there, the giants, refused to give him the throne. They're like, "You took the throne by killing your father. You're not worthy of the throne." Yada yada yada. Would you learn something else about Loki, who has a twin brother? I think that was already said that King Harold had 2 sons. We just didn't know who the second son was, but we do find out. I think that's in 1138. Oh, it is in 1138. We find out who King Harold's other son is. But Loki didn't get the throne. And neither did the other son, because the other son wasn't of royal blood. I'm getting ahead of myself. But Loki killed his father because he didn't agree with the way his father wanted to be. He didn't agree with the way that his father wanted to run the country of Elbath. He wanted to continue that fighting and what they're known for. So Elbath currently has no king. Now, I wondered if this would be like Sabo and the King of Dressrosa situation, where Sabo was framed, but they already know that, not King of Dressrosa, the King of Alabasta, but they already know that Loki killed the father, so there's nothing to frame him for. We also learned that the book of scholars that O'Hara had, threw into the water when they were going to be killed by the world government during the Buster Call. Vegapunk found them, but Saul recovered them. We know Vegapunk read those books, and, that's how he learned about the Void Century, but Saul recovered them. And I was curious, are we finally going to learn about the Void Century now? Are we finally going to get more answers? By 1138, there's more mystery added. But I was like, are we going to learn what the Void Century? Are we going to learn what the Will of D is? It's been teased. It's been teased. It's been teased. Just tell us already, Oda. Before we get answers, we then glance back over at Loki, bound in the underworld, talking to someone named Shaggy. I'm not sure who this character is, or at least I didn't remember who this character was, but he's talking to somebody named Shaggy. However, the last panel was the most strange to me. It was a Shanks lookalike. I thought it was Shanks, but again, because I'm caught up in the chapter, so it's not Shanks. And you guys at this point know it's not Shanks. But he teleports into Elbaf the same way the Gorisei did, the 5 elders, along with someone else. And I remember thinking, what the hell is going on? Shanks just left Elbaf. We saw that. He got the road poneglyphs. He's like, all right, crew, we're going after the One Piece. We got everything we need. So we know that's not Shanks. So I was like, who is this guy? Who is this lookalike? And that's when my mind had went back to, before going further, my mind had went back to the Gorisei. I was like, was that Shanks that talked to the Gorisei? Because I was like, there was no scar on that face. Or at least it was covered up where we couldn't see the scar. But I was like, that would be intentional. Just like Oda pointing out and saying, in bold black words, Blackbeard has never slept a day in his life. I'm trying to tell you, authors, they do things intentional, especially when they're trying to foreshadow something. It was intentional that half scar, even when the chapter panel ends, that half scar is covered, that you can't see, that it's not Shanks, but you know it's not Shanks. The following chapter, we get some more lore on Elbaf. So not only is the world slowly sinking, and that it's somehow tied to the ancient weapons, which we learned from Vegapunk in the previous chapter of Egghead Island. Great arc, even though it was short, still great. We've had some short arcs, and they've still been great. But not only do we still not know about anything about the Will-O-Dee or enough about the Void Century, we learned about a new religious text known as the Harley. And like the poneglyphs, no one can read them anymore except maybe Robin, I'm assuming. So again, Oda is just adding more and more things. We got the Will-O-Dee, we got the Void Century, we got the ancient weapons, we still haven't seen what they look like. Now we got the Harley, which is an ancient language that no one can read except probably Robin. Anyways, these texts say that the world has been destroyed twice before, the world has been destroyed twice before, and Nika the Sun God was always present during those times. It doesn't say that Nika the Sun God is the cause of it, but it does say he was there when it happened. And then this made me think about the Fish Woman's prophecy about Luffy will destroy Fishman Island, or it could have been Luffy was trying to save Fishman Island, but it's going to get destroyed anyway. You know, there's so many things about interpretations with visions. I mean, that's the Raven. Like, literally, look at Raven when she does her vision things, and, like, she thinks she knows how to stop something, and then, like, it still happens.
I'm sure it's going to get better. Of course it will. Of course it will. It's not like they're going to, like, cancel the show before it starts.
This isn't working. I'm gonna have to pull the plug.
Oh no, they're gonna cancel my show before it starts.
I mean, there's always a cute resolve at the end of That's So Raven, but that's the thing about visions. And she says that too, the fish prophecy woman, she's like, oh, the future is unknown. You can't really tell anything by looking into the future. But yeah, that's what I was thinking, like, just because Nika Sun God was there when the world was destroyed twice before, I don't think that means he destroyed it. But people can interpret that how they want. They can either be like, oh, he's trying to fight to save the world, but he lost, or he's the reason the world's destroyed. It's always up to interpretation and how you hear the story. We also learn more about Loki, the son of King Harold. Apparently, the king knew his son would kill him before he had died. He had prophesied it. He was like, hey, I have a feeling my son's going to kill me, and just so you guys know when it happens, just know I'm prepared for it. Like, he knew his son was going to kill him. We then learned that during Loki's birth, his mother was killed during childbirth. Like, his first murder was killing his mother when he came out the womb. As a child, at some point in his life, he later killed the family horse. So the boy is racking up bodies as a child. The same year, we learned about Lin Lin, a.k.a. Big Mom. She killed someone named Chief Jarrell, who I guess was like a famous giant there. And it's kind of cool that we're learning more about Big Mom in this chapter or in this arc, because we do know Big Mom hates the giant specifically. And Big Mom is a giant herself. But this might be the reason why the giants hate her. We thought it's because, she ate Mother Gothel and all those other children because she got in there with her hunger fits. That was implied. We never saw Big Mom eat them, but it's very much implied that she ate Mother Gothel. Mother Gothel can die. The other kids, not so much, Big Mom. But we hate Mother Gothel here on this channel, or probably all across One Piece. And so I'm wondering if that's like, we're going to get more about Big Mom, or maybe we'll see like a flashback of her in it. Anyways, at 10 years old, Loki, he then made the underworld his playground and commanded all the beasts there. Kind of like Luffy, how like he can control animals, not really control animals, but like communicate with animals and like kind of like make them do what he wants with like his conqueror's hockey. Loki did that with all the beasts in the underworld. And that is all before finally killing his father, as his father had prophesied. So in the end, his father was right. So Loki at that point had killed his mother, the family horse, his father, and he controlled all the beasts in the underworld. All at a young age. So Loki was fucking crazy. I think that was about the time he was 14. It's not outright sad, but it's somewhat like that. He then went out to sea where we learned he was stopped by Shanks. So Loki, after killing his father, he was like, okay, I'm going to become a pirate now. I'm starting my own giant crew. And he went out to sea, and Shanks defeated him, and he went back to Elbaf, I believe. It's not outright said he goes back to Elbaf, but I believe that's what happened because we know he's now a prisoner in Elbaf. Luffy also tells his best friend / first mate everything about Loki and everything Loki told him, but we don't know what's outright said. Zoro just says, like, he could have been telling you the truth or he could have been telling you a lie. Or maybe that's what Loki had told him. I was like, all the things that he did. That's probably what was said. At the same time, we learned about Loki's backstory. They later recruit Nami and Roto, the navigator of the new giant pirates. He's the one that captured them all and calls like Ultra Rare Nami, and Ultra Rare Sanji and Ultra Rare Usopp. He's the one that was the one that collected Straw Hats like they were action figures and put them in his toy castle. Which, I mean, I still would again had liked if Elbaf was kind of like this like Lego Zelda kind of style thing. But I appreciate it for what it is. But it was a cute opening. I wish it was more like that. I think if I had wrote One Piece, it would have been like a Lego world. But yeah, so now our crew is separately is Luffy, Zoro, Nami, the original three, and Roto, the navigator of the new giant pirates, and they want to go help Loki and set him free. And I was like, oh boy, because we know Loki prophesies to Luffy, like, if I'm ever set free, I'm going to destroy this whole world. And so, you know, and something happens in 1138 with Loki that makes you really feel bad for him. So I don't know, again, up to interpretation of what he means by destroy the world. But we'll get there again when we get there in that chapter. Now, I was also wondering if this is where they were going to run into Shanks' twin, because they're heading towards the castle, and we saw Shanks' twin teleport into the castle. But it doesn't happen this chapter. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just want you to know where I'm at. If I had been doing this weekly, we would have been having that theory, but I can tell you right now that doesn't happen. Evil Shanks and his partner actually have already gone to see Loki, and they try to convince him to join the Holy Knights. But Loki immediately is like, no, I passed. And they're insulted. The Holy Knights are the ones that protect the Celestial Dragons directly. They're like, what you mean, no? We're offering you a chance to join the gods. We're offering you a chance to become one of the greatest warriors in the world. And we know the world government in this universe is not. Let me say to my fictional world, we know the world government is not good in this version of anime and manga because they're seen as the bad guys. Just like in Tokyo Ghoul, the CCG is seen as the bad guys. That's when we learned that these two are part of the Holy Knights. I just already said that, but I had skipped ahead of myself. And we learned that just after meeting Saint Saturn, we learned that... that's some lore we had learned just after meeting the new replacement for Saint Saturn and the Gorosei, that the Holy Knights were a thing. And I forgot his name. I think it's Saint Gerald. But we learned that he was the leader of the Holy Knights. And that, like, these two are, like, a part of those. So that's kind of cool. One of their names is Gunko. She's the female. We don't learn Shanks' twin's name just yet until the very end of the chapter. That's the last thing we're going to talk about. But they immediately strangle one of Loki's wolf pets, thinking, like, this would be enough to convince them to join. And he gets into a rage because, again, Loki has commanded these beasts all this time. They're his friends. And it it swiftly brings him into a rage and sadness, and he once again says that he'll bring this world to a swift end. Like, he's like, stop hurting my friends. I'll kill all of you. I'll destroy everything. And obviously these Holy Knights don't care. They're just going to, like, keep teasing him and twisting these poor animals, like, bodies and mangle them until Loki bends to their will. But before we get more into that, because again, we're going to get back to that, we go back to King Harold's former castle where Luffy is now inside looking for Loki's keys with Nami, Zoro, and Roto. They're like exploring around. But they notice something strange. The doors are already open, but no one's been here in 14 years since King Harold's death. Like, there's not even guards standing outside, which is weird because they're the ones that prevent people from getting inside the castle. But that's not even the weirdest part. The doors are open from the inside, not from the outside. The call is coming from inside the house.
Stop calling me, you
Listen to me. We traced the call. It's coming from inside the house. Do you hear me? It's coming from inside the house. You need to get out of there right now.
I mean, the call is coming from inside that castle. I'm sorry, that's a stupid joke I want to make. But as we explore the inside of the castle, we learn that the destruction around the castle was from the battle between Loki and his father just before he died. It's hard to see the destruction, really. Like Zoro talks about, he's like, oh wow, this is some devastation. Which, coming from Zoro, we don't need that show. That's a great tell because we know how strong Zoro is. And if Zoro's impressed, yeah, just know it's devastating. But I wish we had seen some real destruction around him. Like maybe a full panel because it's like a half panel. But again, hearing it from Zoro is enough of a show and tell, in my opinion, because we know how strong Zoro is. And if Zoro's impressed, you got to know that it has to be some devastating power. We then get to see a picture of King Harold and learn that he once had horns like a demon, but he ripped them off. What Zoro also says is kind of hardcore. So again, Zoro's complimenting this guy. We got to respect King Harold. We got to put some respect on his name. We haven't seen Loki fight yet, but we know Loki is supposed to be like this devastating creature, this devastating monster that all the giants on Elbaf had to take down and Shanks had to take down. So we know that King Harold was standing on business. We then also learned, this is what we learned this, that Harjuin, the leader of the new giant pirates and the one god Usopp saved on Dressrosa, is Loki's half-brother. He is the other son of King Harold. But unlike Loki, since his mother wasn't of royal blood or pure blood, it's kind of given like Harry Potter where you're a mud blood because you have one wizard mother or father and then a human mother or father. I guess Loki's mother was like that. Like she was a giant, but she just wasn't pure blooded. And so Harjuin didn't get to take the throne from his father, even though everybody knows Harjuin and Loki are both the sons of King Harold. King Harold, he didn't have an affair. He just, had sex with a woman that wasn't a pure blood, and they had Harjuin, and then he did have sex with a woman that was a pure blood, and that was Loki's mother, but she died in childbirth, and then Loki killed him, and they weren't going to let Loki have the throne. So Harjuin can't even have the throne. That's why there's no current king. But that was pretty cute. In Roto's own words, because he's the one that's telling the story to Luffy, Zoro, and Nami, he says, even though Harjuin isn't, the current king, he's like a good guy. Roto was always looked down to, but Harjuin had saw Roto could draw maps of the sea like Nami, and he was like, "Oh wow, you're so good! I want you to join my crew. I want you to become my navigator." Is that ringing any bells for anybody? A mirror to Nami / Luffy and stuff like that. Very cute. I love that. We also learned in his own words that one day Harjuin is going to be king of the giants. Does that ring a bell to you too? And yes, Harjuin is a part of the Straw Hats fleet, but he has his own dream to become the king of the giants, which basically is his birthright too. Or maybe Loki and Harjuin want to become dual kings. You never know. Back with the fake Shanks and the other Holy Knight Gunko, they're continuing to interrogate Loki to joining them by killing his animal friends. And we see that Gunko has a weird devil fruit called the arrow fruit, making her an arrow woman. It was given that power from Demon Slayer with the arrows. I mean, she's in her own way. She can twist and distort somebody's body or hit you with a punch. Like, the arrows will hit you. The direction the arrows are facing is the direction that you're going to get hit and take that attack. But she can also change up the arrows at her will of how she wants them to turn and do stuff like that. And despite they continue to, like, torture his friends, they, like, ask him, like, are you going to join us now? And Loki stands firm. He's like, no, I'm not joining you guys. Fuck the Holy Knights. Fuck the world government. Fuck the Celestial Dragons. And then, and that's when we learn the fake Shanks' real name. His name is Shamrocks Figerland, and he's the son of one of the 5 elders. So we now know, because he's Shanks' twin brother, that Shanks is the son of one of the 5 elders, which I believe is St. Gerald. Again, the new one. Or the leader of the Holy Knights. And there's some backstory to that in chapter 1138. But I was like, holy shit. People were right. This is why you gotta pay attention to foreshadowing and context clues in any story, because sometimes the author is telling it to you. We never saw Shamrocks' face or scar back when he first met the Gorse because it was covered up. And even when he appeared in the opening of this chapter, you know, teleporting inside the castle, his face was half covered up. But because it was half covered up, and Shanks' scars never covered up, all the time we've known him, we could tell this was a different character. So great foreshadowing, Oda. Did not expect Shanks to have a twin brother. And we literally just did the twin brother thing on Demon Slayer, which I reviewed like probably about a year ago now. So don't mind the twin brother thing. It's fine. Love it, love it, love it. But what is their evil plan? What is the whole reason the Holy Knights are here on Elbaf? Is it really just to recruit Loki into joining the Holy Knights? Which, I mean, would be a major thing if he's that much of a threat. No. The world government is after the Giants. They want all the Giants under their control, which has been set up since the beginning. Back in, like, Little Island or whatever it's called, Mr. 3 and them, they tried to kill those Giants because they wouldn't join the world government. Then we had the Giants on Water 7 / NS Lobby guarding that palace for 100 years because they said that, oh, the Giants are trapped in here. They've been trapped in here for 100 years. You serve us for 100 years. We'll let them go. They were lied to. Then you had the Giant trapped in Dressrosa by well, Doflamingo was doing his own thing. He thought he was the king of his own country. But you had him capture a giant as well. So the Giants have always been a target by the world government. But they just always refuse. Elbaf has always been a free country. So, very fucking cool lore. Their ultimate plan is to get the Giants under their control and under the power of the world government. Since I am caught up in chapter 1138, I'm not going to speculate with you guys. On top of that, the chapter's already out, so you guys can read it for yourselves. But we will be reviewing chapter 1138, hopefully very soon, so we can all talk about it. Anyways, guys, that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was one of the longer One Piece reviews because I added 3 chapters together. But I don't mind it because I love talking about One Piece. Anyways, I got to get to work. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. See you later. Bye.
Hey guys, this video was sponsored by me, the author of the Shinry series, the Chronicles of Wayne, and Monsterverse. So I figured I'd do this outro a little bit different by showing you guys what you guys will be checking out. So, the Shinry series starts with Book 1, Shobu Samurai Project Aryoku. 10 years after the death of his parents, Shobu Samurai returns home seeking vengeance, but instead faces a choice to save his home from shadow creatures, blood beasts, and an organization once thought dead. Shinry's Shobu Samurai starts at $9.99. And if you love anime, manga, Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, Yu Yu Hakusho, Fairy Tail, Shaman King, Rave Master, Zatch Bell, anything like that, the Shinry series is definitely the series for you. You'll definitely want to check it out. The Sword of Light is probably the thickest one so far. And then these books are 2. This is Enter the Dread Zone Tournament. And the series original ending, Arado, the Legendary Conjuring Master. So, and I'll just show you guys some of the covers. Really proud of all of these. But I hope you guys check it out. If you don't like that, I also have the current published books for the Chronicles of Wayne, Love Be Damned, Cotton Candy, Full Moons, Fabled Lovers, A Cursed Virgin's Bite. If You Go Where Monsters Dance, Red will Rain Over Your House. Love Be Damned. Now, the Chronicles of Wayne is about a geeky guy, or a nerdy guy in high school. His senior year, he has a crush on the hottest guy in school, because of course he does. He's only got one best friend, and her name is Barb. Well, the hottest guy in school turns out to be a werewolf. And to make the story more interesting, he bites Wayne and turns Wayne into the first ever wolfman in the last 10 years. And because of that, it was also a sacred law that wolfmen should never be created. I don't want to get into too much of the Chronicles of Wayne without spoiling it, but I can tell you it's very short. This one sells for $6.99, and Love Be Caged right after it. The ending of this trilogy, Love Be Liberated, comes out in October. So I'm going to definitely do a more full in-depth review of this one. But yeah, it's an LGBT fantasy fiction story about werewolves, vampires, white witches, a dark warlock, and, well, many, many more surprises to come. So, if you guys like to read, I definitely recommend. These are all the books so far in the Shinry series, except for Shinry's Beginning. I do have that one, but it's just not here with me. But yeah, I appreciate a like, support, or just a review on Amazon. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a great day.